So you and Riza both grew up around the same time
We
in New
did?
York City. Yeah, I think he was in. You were in
I was
Queens,
in
and he
Queens.
was in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Was Wu Tang on your radar
At
when
that
you were
time?
in the '90s? As it
Wu-Tang
emerged?
was always on my radar, but not in the way that it is now. I mean, it's a completely different element, because now Bobby and I have worked together, and I know him as Bobby, and it's exciting to have been a part of his first experience as a director.
Sure. What were you listening to in the early '90s
In
in
the
New York
early
City?
90s, I was listening to like all alternative, like Nitzareb and, New Order and, Echo and the Bunnyman and
Ah,
all of
gotcha.
that.
Hitting all the '90s staples. There.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Why not?
And so how Riza interests me because he loves kung fu. He loves these movies, and I guess he got hooked up with Quentin Tarantino at some point. Is that how you were first introduced to him, or how did you become involved at this project?
I actually met Riza when he wrote the song for Oren Ishii for Kill Bill. And we actually never really crossed paths, but I remember Quentin saying I got Riza to write the song for Oren Ishii, and then we sort of like never really connected until he came up with this movie and offered me this role.
And he seems to love the action stuff, but how is he as a character director or an actor's director?
He's wonderful. I think because he's an actor's director, he knows when to come in and talk to you, and when you just keep going. He kind of lets you fall into the rhythm that the character needs to fall into, and then when he's got what he needs, he moves on to the next thing.
Do you think his music background helps him in directing film in some way?
I think he's an artist, and I think artists really understand each other. And there's the fact that he knows how to communicate with people is the first thing, because actors want to understand what it is that you're trying to say. If you want them to do something different, and sometimes it's hard to communicate that. And he really has a wonderful energy about him. And I don't know if you've already had a conversation with him or not.
I have not.
But he's very zen, and he's very calm, and he never seems frazzled or in a rush. And I think that makes you feel like you're not in a rush either, and it's very calming.
That's awesome. Was action something that you've always been eager to do, or something that was scary at first when you started embarking on like these punch 'em up kind of movies?
Punch 'em up.
Punch 'em ups. It's kind of like shooting, but with punching.
But punch 'em ups.
Yeah.
I actually love doing action. I think it's incredibly fun. I think what's more fun about it is actually seeing the audience reaction, because they really get into it. And I think especially finding an audience that really loves to see when women fight, I think that's really great, because they kind of get a big rush out of it. I mean, I think seeing men fight and get punched or punch
You've seen it.
other people, we've seen it, but when women do it, there's something kind of fierce about it, and that's what's wonderful. I mean, this is not something that I envisioned for myself as an actor, but it is something that's wonderful because it's nice to be doing something that's believable and that people will buy.
I've always wondered if Quentin is a big fan of the Charlie's Angels movies, if that's how he knew you would be right for Kill Bill.
Actually, he never mentioned the Charlie's Angels movies to me. He actually mentioned Shanghai Noon to me,
Ah.
and that's why he wanted me to be a part of Kill Bill.
Very awesome.
That was the introduction that he gave me on the phone.
That's how
at
he knew
least.
you could kick butt.
No, he liked that she was empathetic, and that was something that he found very special.